Welcome back. Today, I'm joined by the OpsKings. We're going to kick it off. They're one of my clients. I've been working with them for a little bit now. Could you guys introduce yourselves and your company and kind of give us a 30-second background
Yeah,
on,
Tony, go
on
for it.
yourselves and your company?
Sure. So Tony Debelich, one of the co-founders at OpsKings. We're a full service IT and operations company. We basically automate and streamlines people's businesses and processes. We hired Ben a couple of times, and for this recent hire, we were looking for someone to replace me on client-facing stuff. So it had to be someone that was, very capable of delivering client-facing work, hopping on calls. But the caveat to our client-facing stuff, it needs to be someone that's also technical, so not just client-facing. So we were struggling to find this person. We had one hire previously that we were able to find, and that was an inbound person who came to us, expressed interest to work for us. But we were struggling for the second role, and we couldn't get it done, and that's when we went over to Ben. Ryan, I don't know if you want to
Yeah,
add something.
one thing I'll add to that is like we're growing really fast, and so it does actually I think before starting OpsKings with Tony, I didn't really believe this whole struggle of hiring. I was like, we just offer people money and they take it and it's good to go. But it really does take a lot of time to find someone that's willing to work for you at like a reasonable rate. So if you have 10 times the budget, yeah, you can get whoever you want, right? And then is dedicated and skilled enough to be able to actually fulfill the needs of the job versus someone who just says they are. Because anybody can say, oh yeah, I can do that because
Yeah.
they want the money and they want the job.
Yeah.
But that was a thing that actually takes a lot of time, and there's a lot of people you have to sift through. So yeah, Ben's been awesome with
Yeah.
that.
Awesome. Could you tell me a little bit more about the specifics and technicalities of the roles? I know you alluded to it a little bit previously, but some of the softwares they work with and kind of what their day-to-day looks like.
Yeah, so we implement, I mean, we go into businesses that are struggling with operations. They know they want to streamline things, and they know they want to automate. So we need someone that has the skill of talking to a business owner, understanding what a business does. So they can't just be purely technical. They have to actually be able to speak about things like funnels and online marketing and SEO and MailChimp and offers and team structure, and kind of just know about stuff like Slack and Google Drive and Notion and Airtable and things like that. So they have to sound capable to a business owner. They have to have for this particular role, we were looking for someone that can replace me. So they have to also have the credentials to be respected by our clients who, pay us pretty good retainers. So we can't just have someone who studied this in theory. We have to have someone with some track record that's going to be listened to. And then they also have to be able to listen to a client's problems and spec out features for our technical team to build. So they have to be able to say, okay, so here's a business need. They have to be able to identify what can be automated and how to ask the right questions of the client so they can get the right information from the client so our dev process doesn't slow down. All right. We need someone that can say, oh, you need to automate this task. Okay, I need to get the API key for this tool. I need to get access to this information. I need this document that you already have. Because if they don't know to ask those questions, then our dev team starts the process of building it. Either what they're speccing out is impossible to build, or they start building it, realize we're missing half the information, and then our deadlines get pushed and our clients are not happy. So we need someone that can speak to the business side, speak to the technical side, and has the credentials to be respected by our clients.
I would highlight one thing
businesses.
I would highlight one thing from what Ryan said is, of course, the technical side, knowing Make, knowing Airtable, being familiar with different tools, API keys is critical. But a general business acumen of understanding different types of business model, different types of companies, different types of industries, it's what's really needed, because this role that we were hiring for, it's a client-facing role, right? And we have high retainers, so people that they're going to be talking to are business owners that run multi-million, multi-seven-figure, sometimes eight-figure businesses. Who, if you're going to be talking to them about how to improve their business, they need to feel like the person on the other side actually knows something more than them. So for this, it was not only the actual technical ability, it was what Ryan says, like having someone with credentials on the other side, where I tell a client like, hey, you're going to be taken over by this person. This person did X, Y, and Z, and that's why they're uniquely capable of helping you out. And that's why like we're confident that this person is going to be able to do such a good job. That was very key because and with no disrespect to anyone, but it's the level of service that we're trying to provide is, you know, someone that's going to be able as capable and good as me and Ryan, if me and Ryan were doing that service. So the person that we hired absolutely had to be on that level, if not even better, and their credentials had to back it up. Sort of like their LinkedIn had to back up the position that they are, and they were business analysts. So in this case, you did a stellar job.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, I was gonna say as well, that the reason we're hiring for this role, like we had this conversation back in like August. I was like, Tony, like I don't want to do code anymore, right? And the reason for it is because it takes so much effort to think through different problems for clients. It's much more effective. We realized it was much more effective for our business to separate ourselves from that entirely, not do the account management like on a day-to-day basis, not do the dev on a day-to-day basis, and instead coach a team and spend our entire days. I want to spend my entire day as much as possible thinking about SOPs and strategies and like how do we design a better service across clients. Because if I'm in the day-to-day and if Tony's in the day-to-day, then all of our clients suffer because we're not thinking about the high level strategies. So it's been so like, I remember in like the first moment that there was a client call that happened and I didn't even know about it. Like, it wasn't like it was on my calendar and I denied the invite because we had someone else doing it in this role. Like, I didn't even know what happened until afterwards. It was amazing. And our level of service it needs to be so much better. So we realize hiring is crazy important, even if we technically have time to do, you know, a million client calls.
Got it. And now that this person's going to start in this role, how do you think that's going to change your business going forward? I know they're starting next week.
Yeah, I can attest. So this person is starting in 6 days from now. So it's going to be vastly different, mainly because right now I'm still handling a set of accounts, which is taking most of my time. So it's going to be removing me from that production side of the company completely, which isn't an easy task to do. So the initial ramp up period for this person will be they'll be shadowing me for a set number of weeks until they get ramped up. And then ideally, something that we discussed with this candidate is we would want him to be able to take on basically consulting work as well. So not only doing the business analyst side of the operational things, specking out the features and talking to the clients, but actually raise into after they sort of grasp the entire service, raise into more of a consultant role and be able to consult on the clients as well. So that's the transformation. The transformation means that I'm going to be getting 6 hours out of my day back.
Awesome. And one last question. What do you have to anyone who's on the fence about hiring or possibly working with Sabota? What do you have to say to them?
Right. Don't think about the cost of the hire. Think about the amount of money you can make just because you're not in the day-to-day anymore, and you can start thinking about sales and marketing and being as aggressive as you possibly can on the growth side.
Yeah, and I would say one critical thing, this hire we hired wasn't cheap. We probably for this budget could have hired someone in the States or in Canada, but the level of the person that we would get would be significantly lower. So I wouldn't approach hiring Sabota as necessarily just strictly a cost-cutting exercise. I would approach Sabota if you have a set budget that you can attest to this role. I would say explore every single option that you have because $5,000 somewhere in the world goes a way longer way than somewhere else in the world. And I wouldn't necessarily just compromise on budget. If you have the budget, go explore all of the options. You would be surprised what level of talent you can get all across the world.
Yeah.
That's what Ben specializes in. He's specialized in finding these hidden gems, these people that are extremely talented, have great level of English, have great work ethic, and are used to working remote. And he specializes in finding those people and getting them into your business. So if you have any hesitations, I hope you don't.
Perfect. Thanks so much, guys. I appreciate the time today.
Appreciate it, man.